Another day means another episode in the never-ending saga that is the WBD merger with Netflix. Or will it be Paramount? Because Paramount is now directly gone to shareholders trying to do a hostile takeover of WB. Yeah, it's never-ending. And speaking of never-ending, how's this for some continuation of bad news? Netflix considers WB games to be worthless. This popped up on my feed earlier today from Kotaku. And, you know, probably not the most exciting thing to read, waking up today, was this right here. But the actual quote at least kind of makes some sense. Essentially, it's them saying that they didn't attribute any value from their purchase of WBD Netflix because apparently the games division is minor in comparison to the rest of what they have to offer. So that's how they view the games division. Minor! They're not like, oh, hell yeah, we have the rights to Mortal Kombat, Hogwarts Legacy. We have Rocksteady. They don't care. They're in it for the film, the TV, the library. And, you know, this is just a byproduct of the deal. So that's on the agenda for today. You guys are excited to hear some more information about this WB Discovery merger with Netflix, or will it be Paramount? Do me a solid. It takes you a second. If you can, please drop a like on the video. With that said, let's break down all this information as of the last, 30 hours or so. And let's get into it. So like we kicked off the video, Paramount is currently launching a hostile takeover bid to buy WB. They're going directly to shareholders with a bid valued at $108.4 billion. And of course, this does include the breakup fee if it does not happen. And I believe most of this is also in cash because they are being backed by the Saudis. Now, Variety, since this first broke a couple of nights ago, I believe this was yesterday, came out and said Paramount promises to release more than 30 films in movie theaters as the company launches its hostile takeover bid for WBD. In a call with press and investors on Monday, the company said it will also honor healthy, traditional windows. So they're doing all they can, saying all they can, and the drama continues because Discussing Films shared this quote a couple days ago. It said, Paramount CEO David Ellison sent a text to David Zaslav after they made a hostile takeover bid today to buy WB. David, I appreciate you're underwater today, so I wanted to send you a quick text. No, despite the noise of the last 24 hours, I have nothing but respect and admiration for you and the company. It would be the honor of a lifetime to be your partner and to be the owner of these iconic assets. If we have the privilege to work together, you will see that my father and I are the people you had dinner with. So, you know, Paramount's feeling like they got the cold shoulder out of nowhere to the point where, again, Variety's also sharing some more information on how this all went down. Says WBD CEO David Zaslav ghosted Paramount's David Ellison just hours before the news broke that Netflix was buying WB. On December 4th, following Paramount's submission of a bid to the WBD board, Ellison sent the following text to Zaslav saying, just tried calling you about the new bid we have submitted. I heard you on all your concerns and believe we have addressed them in our new proposal. Please give me a call back when you can to discuss in detail. Then underneath that, it's a paragraph essentially giving you the same quotes from the recent X post, but you can see there on the very bottom it says, Ellison courted Zaslav as hard as he could over the span of 3 months. He hosted Zaslav at a dinner with his father, Larry Ellison, at their family's home in Beverly Hills to discuss Paramount's interest in combination with WB. So, you know, he's not too happy. Paramount really, really, really wants to make sure they can somehow stop this Netflix merger from happening. And to that I say, what took you so long to offer this most recent bid at over $100 billion? If they would have just kicked off the initial bidding with that number, that's already, like I said, to kick off the video, like $30 more billion. If they would have started at that number, I don't think Netflix could have worked their way into making this deal happen. The Ellison family and Paramount have no one else to blame but themselves, because if they were really willing and they have the financial backing to offer over $100 billion for this company, why were you playing games? You should have just kicked it off with that number and we wouldn't be here. Now, back in regards to Netflix and how they feel the deal will be affected by all of this, you know, Paramount trying to do a hostile takeover. This was reported as well yesterday afternoon from Variety. Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters said they're super confident they'll close the WBD deal. Here's a quote. "We have a deal done, and we are incredibly happy with the deal. We think it's great for our shareholders. It's great for consumers. We think it's a great way to create and protect jobs in the entertainment industry. We're super confident we're going to get it across the line and finish." And again, discussing film sharing that, according to the Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos, now says they'll keep WB theatrical model largely the same once they buy the studio. "When the deal closes, we are in theatrical business and we're going to do it. We didn't buy this company to destroy that value." So they're trying to make it seem like it's going to be business as usual. Going to theaters, there will still be WB films there in attendance, but again, not everyone's believing that. One of those people is James Cameron. Says here, courtesy of DCU Hype, James Cameron has said a David Ellison Paramount acquisition of WBD would be the best possible choice above Netflix and Comcast. A quote from Cameron saying, "I think he's, aka David Ellison, the best possible choice. Netflix would be a disaster." Sarandos has gone on record saying theatrical films are dead. Interviewer saying now he's promising theaters if they buy WB, and Cameron says it's sucker bait. We'll have to see what happens. I do think it's funny, though, how every time we discuss this whole Netflix merger with WBD, and I mention, like, how I rather have the likes of Paramount buy the company so they can overhaul every single thing because they wanted everything that WBD has to offer, not just the backlog of films and things of that sort, HBO Max, because that's all Netflix cares about. People really just don't want Paramount at all. They don't. It's like, when you have someone like James Cameron telling you that this merger is going to kill Hollywood, the response I get to that is, well, who cares? Hollywood's nothing but a bunch of billionaires and bad people anyway. And I'm just sitting there completely shocked and puzzled. I'm like, okay, so you'd rather kill Hollywood and kill everything under the DC umbrella because you just think that Paramount is evil? Paramount's evil. The only option that would have kept movies in theaters is evil. You guys really don't like movie theaters at all? For real? Come on, like, I kicked off the video legit showing you this from Kotaku. Kotaku! The type of people who love Netflix love Kotaku, and they're legit right here telling you Netflix considers WB games to be worthless. Now, I did mention, have some actual quotes. Shout out to Shinobi on X saying, Netflix did not attribute any value to WB Games in their $83 billion mega deal. Going on, the quote says, while they definitely have been doing some great work in the game space, this is Netflix speaking, we actually didn't attribute any value to that from the get-go because they're relatively minor compared to the grand scheme of things, said co-CEO Gregory Peters. Now, again, courtesy of Screen Time, another quote here from the same CEO at Netflix. Here he is saying, now we're super excited because some of those properties that they've built, Hogwarts is a great example of that. They've been done quite well, and we think that we can incorporate that into what we're offering. You know, I guess we should just trust Netflix. We should just trust Netflix with the film industry, with the games industry, WB Games in particular. You know, the thing that I just read a quote saying they didn't attribute any value of that in this gigantic merger. I'm just gonna trust these people with my favorite IP, Mortal Kombat. And funny enough, today, the first antitrust lawsuit over the Netflix WB deal has been filed. We'll see if it goes down. And again, this was reported, I believe, a few days ago when it was first announced. The Netflix CEO, Ted Sarandos, had a meeting with Trump in mid-November, where Sarandos left with the impression that Netflix wouldn't face regulatory opposition in buying WB. Paramount assumed they would win the bidding war because of their friendly relationship with Trump. So Netflix is confident. Paramount thought their connection with the government would help them make the deal happen. No one knows how this is going to play out, and no one knows what's going to happen after the deal gets done. We don't know if the film industry can continue to stick around, if WB Games, it's business as usual, like I've been saying, or if it just gets a lot worse because, again, Netflix doesn't give a fuck about the value of the games. I mentioned a couple of days ago, the person in charge at Netflix Gaming is from the FGC. He was a commentator for like 15 years or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. That's great. But I don't know if he has the power to make this not go to shit. I hope he does if this goes through. But I'm not confident with what I'm seeing so far. Like this announcement today, the news of this breaking that they did not even consider WB Games at all in the acquisition of WB Discovery. That should tell you the future of WB licensed video games in the games division post this merger. If you thought WB by itself was bad with how they've handled the recent releases of their games, I don't see how any of these quotes from their CEOs makes you feel confident for the future of Mortal Kombat, NetherRealm, Rocksteady, you name it. Them saying that they're excited to, like, incorporate what, you know, WB Games has done into what they're offering, all that means is they're going to put all this stuff on Netflix, and obviously the price of Netflix is about to go up to probably like $40. You know, where people were complaining about Game Pass being too expensive, we're about to have Netflix go into the exact same field and do the exact same thing. So there you go. There's your update. I have no confidence in Netflix. And again, this is all the better of three evils. I'm not sitting here, you know, proudly waving the Paramount flag because none of us really know how any of this is going to go down 5 years from now. But again, the only company that actually wanted every single thing was Paramount. And me just saying, like, yeah, I'd prefer the company that finds value in the games division makes me labeled, you're a this, you're a that. It's like, bro, leave politics out of this. Literally, read the fucking quote I just showed you that Netflix just laid out there. How can you sit there and still put your head in the sand and say, yeah, the future of Mortal Kombat, it's looking good? Like, it's insane. But yeah, label me whatever because I think that Paramount is the best option because, again, there's not quotes coming out saying how they consider the games division to be worthless. Trying to make content in 2025, bro. I'm telling you, I'm losing brain cells reading some of the shit that I have to read. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for y'all today. That's the update. We'll see if Paramount can pull off this hostile takeover to get WB by going directly to the shareholders. I think it's pretty insane, all the drama going on between the Ellison family and Zaslav. I think the drama between if Netflix is going to keep theaters open or not is insane. I think the quotes from today confirming that the WB Games division had nothing to add in this acquisition between Netflix and WBD is mind-boggling because those games make so much fucking money. Like, I think MK1 has sold at least, what, 7 million copies? Let's just do the math and let's just do a quick little calculator in real time. Let's do 7 million copies. Okay, 7 million copies times, let's say $30 because the game's been on sale for a while. Let's say $30, you know, just to kind of cover bases for like the $10 purchases to the day one purchases. That's $210 million off of one game. One game, one studio, not including like DLC skins, expansions, characters. We don't know the actual number. Let's just say it's like that ballpark. They've got a couple studios now at that rate. You're making at least $1 billion or so annually off of your games division. Like, that should have some value. That is like your audience retention there. That is the diehards. That's the important consumer. Sorry, it's not giving you hundreds of billions, just a couple billions, but like, goodness. Can you imagine saying a couple $1 billion meant nothing to you? Yeah. Netflix. Love you guys. What do y'all think of this? Drop a like if you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.